Today we're going to be working with the Quick Quotes Autumn Canvas book. It's a kit that comes together like this. You can buy it from scrapbook.com. Everything you need in the kit is inside this package with the exception of the ink. They recommend the Amaretto Powder Puff Chalking ink, so that's what we'll be using today. Let's get started. We're going to open the package, and inside you have all the pieces that are needed. The directions are also inside the package, and you can feel free to use those, or you can also follow along with the video. The first thing we're going to do when we open our package is we are going to punch out all of the die cuts, including the chipboard and the pattern papers. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and you can do the same at home. All right, now that I have all of the pieces punched out, including all of the little circles that are inside these scallops, if you're having a hard time with those, there's a few different ways. You can use your nails to punch them out. A pencil works well. I always keep a paper piercer next to me, and I just push them down and then pull them on the other side. But you're going to want to make sure all of those holes are punched out. The other thing you want to make sure you do is when you punched out the leaf, you had a negative space left. Make sure you keep that negative space for the leaf because we're going to be using that in our book. The next step is to take our Powder Puff Chalking ink. Again, I'm using Amaretto, and I'm going to lightly ink the edges of each of these pieces. And to do that, I just hold the paper and I lightly brush the ink along the edges. It leaves a nice distressed edge and a little interest to each of the pages. So I would suggest at this point you pause the video, take some time, ink your pages, and then we'll go on with our next step. Okay, I have finished adding a little chalking ink to all the edges of all the die cut pieces. In the directions, they also suggest that the two canvases that were included in the kit, that you lightly chalk the edges of those. So I'm going to do that quickly, just taking my ink and going around the edges real softly. You can add as much or as little as you like. There's the small one. And I'm going to do the same thing with the larger canvas. Again, this is a real quick process. It only takes you a couple seconds to get this ink on. The best part is you can apply it directly from your ink pad. You don't have to use any other applicators to get it on. All right, so for now, I'm going to set the canvases aside because I'm not going to be using those for a little while. The other part we need to do to prepare to put the book together is to cut the ribbon. The directions tell us to cut the yellow ribbon into 7 7-inch pieces. So I'm going to slide the die cuts out of the way. And for me, it's easier just to lay the ruler down on my table. I lay it out in front, and I cut it into 7-inch piece. And I'm going to do the same thing with the black ribbon, and the black ribbon goes into 2 8-inch pieces. There you go. And once you have all those pieces ready and cut, then we're ready to assemble. Check out the next video, and that will be the next part we do is put together the book.